Let me tell you what I love about ugly people, right? And I'm talking about physically unattractive people. Now, there's this misconception that ugly people don't know they're ugly. Well, I tend to disagree. And that's what this video is about. Not ugly people or the audacity that I would have to say that, but the lessons that we can learn as entrepreneurs, as leaders, as individuals from people that the world might consider less than attractive. Because we're going to see whether it's personal or professional, there are lessons that we can learn. So maybe you aren't an ugly person, but maybe you have an ugly product or service, right? Maybe your product is ugly, meaning that it's just not an attractive deal. Maybe your service is one where you clean trash chutes, or you might be one company or service where your business is emptying out the porta potty, right? That is an ugly business, but there's something that we can learn from it. So let's dive in and see why ugly partners marry, or ugly people marry sexy partners. Here we go. The first thing that I have learned at looking at ugly businesses is that they have a realistic sense of who they are. They're not delusional. They've done a self-assessment and they said, hey, this is me. This is who I am. These are the challenges that I am going to face. Now, what I love about those who are honest enough to take inventory is that they're going to say, hey, there's nothing that you can bring to me that I haven't thought about myself. So I'm going to ask you this question that I have right here. Have you taken an honest assessment of who you are and where you are at this time right now? Are you thinking that you are sexier or prettier than you really are? Are you thinking that your business is the shining light of the industry when reality it's the ugly duckling of the bunch? Are you naive, or are you delusional and saying there's nothing wrong with us? We are the belle of the ball, but everyone else says, it would be better if it would be better if he knew just how ugly he was professionally, if he knew how ugly he was as a parent or as a friend, if she knew how ugly of an employer or employee or coworker that we were. If we take an honest assessment, it's going to make us more attractive to those sexy partners, those sexy customers or clients that we want in our lives, instead of them snickering behind our backs as we are at the ball. As an entrepreneur, your GPS is only effective if you know where you currently are. Right? We hear this all the time about setting your goals and how are you going to get there? What's the journey? Well, I believe that ugly people have a great GPS because they know where they are. That's how they're able to get to that destination of a sexy partner. Well, Neil, what do you mean? If there are things about you, your business, your life, your health, your finances that are ugly right now, take into account, well, this is a reality check. Before I can get there, I need to know that I'm behind, that I'm overweight, that I have bad relationships, right? That's what ugly people do. They don't try to hide it. They say, all right, well, this is where I am. I must figure a skill. I must create or chart a new path. I'm not going to get someone to fall in love with me or my product because we are the belle of the ball, because everyone is oohing and eyeing at us. Instead, I've got to look at, in my assessment, what skills, what traits, what characteristics do I have? Here's something else that we learn from ugly people and how they marry sexy partners. Ugly people have confidence. They have this thing, this bit of self-esteem, not in their looks, but in their character, in who they are. What we find is that many less than stellar or attractive individuals, they have this sense of personal care. They know who they are, and they believe that once you get to know them, that you're going to believe it too. We've all seen the guy or the gal where you look and say, whew, if I had her self-esteem, if I had his self-confidence, I would be able to take over the world. Well, that's precisely how our friends, family, businesses, corporations that are less than stellar in performance, that's how they take over the world. They have a sense of confidence that many of us do not have. So let me ask you, do you have a healthy ego in your business, in your corporation, in your personal life as a parent, right? Regardless of how bad you might look to the outside world, have you looked at yourself? And then that self-assessment says, hey, I might not look, I might not sound the way the world thinks that I can or should, but I love me. I love what we've created, the work that we've put into it. I like how I physically look. I'm going to do this thing because I have the confidence. I believe that I'm still a catch, because there are few things as sexy, as attractive, as confidence. So that's going to be in your parenting, in your business endeavors, or in your personal life as well. And here's what I love about those so-called ugly people and what we can learn from them. I have here that ugly people are bold enough to make the first move. Ugly people will make the first move and shorten the distance from where they are to where you are. I've experienced this in my life as an ugly person. Sometimes I just have confidence saying, hey, I'm going to make the first move. I'm going to see you over there. And guess what I'm going to do? Hey, baby, this is how I got my wife, by the way, in case you all are curious. Hey, baby, I see you. I saw you looking at me. They're like, no, I was actually looking at the tall guy, the handsome one that's behind you. I was like, oh, yeah, but he's still over there. He didn't come, right? And so are you bold enough to make the first move in business, even though things don't look the way they should, even though all of the metrics might not add up or your experience level might not be there? If you're bold enough to make the first move, if you will shorten the distance from where you are to where your spouse, significant other, desired clientele, that big fish that you are looking to land as a client, if you will shorten the distance between you and your kids as a parent, or the distance between you and your peers, your colleagues, maybe your employer, you're going to come off as attractive because of your confidence. Here's something else that I love and why ugly people marry sexy partners. They make us feel better about ourselves. Let's be honest. If you see someone who is less than stellar, less than beautiful, but if they are confident in who they are, if they will close the distance between us and them, all of a sudden we say, man, they make me enjoy being myself. I enjoy being around them. It's really all about the sale, but not an external sale. It's about the internal sale. And can you sell yourself on your worth and on your value? So they make us feel good about ourselves. We see it all the time when we will have a mega star or athlete and their spouse, their significant other, is homely. And it is, well, what is it about him? Why her? I get this all the time. When people look at my wife, they say, man, what does she see in that guy? It's only because I make her feel better about herself with my confidence. And when I go in and have conversation, make that first move before the tall, handsome guy even had a chance, I shorten that distance. And then here's what we as ugly people do. We minimize our flaws and we accentuate our positive characteristics. We go in and say, hey, I know I'm not handsome, but I have a great sense of humor. I have a great personality. I know I'm not the best choice of product. I might not be the most affordable, but what my challenge, what my flaw is, I'm going to make up for it in customer service. I'm going to give you an exceptional experience. I might be a single parent to my children, but here's what I am going to do. When we have vacations, when it's not work time or when you're not at school, we're going to make sure that we go for ice cream, have a great time. We're going to be able to talk. So where can you minimize your flaws as a person or as a business? And what positives can you accentuate? Can we focus on the things that really matter? I found that this is something that the ugliest people do. They say, looks are just looks. Give us a couple of years, we're all going to be ugly. But can I care about what's in here? Can I care about those dreams that are in your head? Can I care about what's holding you down or weighing you down? If we can learn from those so-called ugly people to be more like them, to care about more what really is important, then it will make all of us better. And we will be able to marry a sexy partner. But then finally, one of the greatest lessons that I've learned about ugly people or from ugly people, you guys are like, man, he sure is talking about ugly a lot. If you haven't picked it up yet, it's not about the physical ugliness. It's not about people even. It's about the business. It's about the owners or the managers, about the individual in certain situations. But ugly people have figured out this. It's really not even about us. It's always about the other person. Can I make that customer or significant other feel seen? Can I make them feel valued? Can I let them know that it's not about here? There is no ego. It really is about what's in here, making them feel seen or heard, making sure that their complaints are valid and that we as individuals or as companies, entities, corporations, small business owners, entrepreneurs, that we care about them. I believe that if we learn those lessons as ugly people, all of us have ugly aspects of our lives. If we can learn those pieces or learn those things from individuals, I do believe that all of us will have sexy partners in our lives, whether it is real life like myself, or we're talking business or attractive relationships with our children or those that we do life with. I want to remind you that from one ugly person to another, that I love you, God loves you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Most importantly, wherever you go, whatever you do, until the next time I see you or you see me, don't be average, be world renowned. Peace.